Hey everyone, welcome back to the School Bobbi podcast. Today I'm recording a solo episode, and I actually wanted to record here in my office at TSB as things have come up and some things that I want to talk about beauty school. So I want to do a series on some tips for people going into beauty school. I've seen all of these TikToks that I don't know if it's just my algorithm or what, but a lot of TikToks saying, hey, I'm starting beauty school. I've heard it's like the worst experience of your life. Like, give me some tips. And I just wanted to do an episode on 2 tips that I have for starting beauty school. And then we'll do a series and do some more just for people that are starting and that are maybe not in Tennessee or maybe not starting with us at Tennessee School of Beauty, but starting at another beauty school. So I definitely have some tips. I think that this experience is something that a lot of people aren't prepared for. And I think that there are definitely schools that in admissions, they kind of rush you through, have you sign on the first day. And I just think that there are some things that can help you to get prepared for beauty school. So I wanted to share a couple of things with you. Now, as far as beauty school goes, I know that there are times that you can feel unprepared, or maybe that you don't know what to expect from beauty school because it maybe isn't something that you've seen anyone else do yet. So, first of all, I always like to let people know that beauty school is for sure not the easy way out. It's not a program that is just super easy. A lot of people think that because they enjoy doing hair and doing makeup, that the program's going to be really easy. But we're always super honest about, this being a challenging program. I know that sometimes people are surprised even that we have tests and that you'll be taking tests while you're in beauty school. So, there are so many subjects that are covered in beauty school, from like electricity to chemistry. There's a lot that is included. Sanitation, obviously, being one of the biggest things that you're coming to school for. So just making sure that you know that it is school and that you will be taking tests. I think preparing yourself for that is really important. Now, at our school, we're extremely hands-on. So we haven't started into the online learning or anything like that yet. We're just extremely hands-on. We feel that that is the best way to learn, since you're going to be doing these after your license, you're going to be doing these services hands-on. So we still are completely hands-on, meaning from day one, you're learning how to hold a comb, how to stand behind your mannequin, just all of those things. So it can seem elementary at first, but again, this is all preparing you to go work in the beauty industry. So just knowing that there's going to be tests, but that there's going to be a lot of hands-on work as well. When I see people that kind of struggle through the beginning of these programs, the first thing that I'm going to tell you to help you prepare for beauty school is to lose your idea of being perfect. So perfectionism, huge thing that we see students struggling with. And so I think that the sooner that you can get in here and just realize, like, maybe I'm not going to do a perfect haircut right away, but I'm going to do it 100 more times to practice to get it right. I think a lot of people come in and they just expect themselves to be good at all of this, from hair cutting to hair color, whatever it is that you're learning. I think sometimes people are like, oh, I already know how to do that because I do this every day on myself, or hey, I've taken a class already. But I think the idea of you just knowing that you're not going to be perfect right away, and if you are a perfectionist, coming into this with a mindset of, I'm here to learn and I'm going to practice it a ton of times until I get it right, is something that is really, really going to help you. With our first 9 weeks of school, you're in the classroom learning everything you need to learn before you start taking clients. And in that time, I definitely see people get frustrated because they think that they're going to be better at it, or there's a concept that is just taking them a second to grasp. And I think just making sure that coming into it that you might not be the best is really important. So my first piece of advice is to lose any perfectionism that you have inside of you prior to coming to school, and just being open to learning. You'll have several different teachers in beauty school And they're all going to teach you maybe one slight different way. And that slight different way might be the thing that really gets you to say, okay, I get what I'm doing now. Or, hey, I didn't understand it fully when this person explained it to me, but when I saw you do it, it made sense. And because we all have different learning abilities and different ways that we learn, if you don't have a school that's like adapting to your learning style, then that can be challenging. So I think just staying open-minded, even if you're not right out of high school coming into this field. A lot of the students that start with us are moms, or this is a second or third career. And I think just making sure that if that's your situation, if you're kind of starting over and doing this, making sure that you're open-minded to the things that you're learning, and just to going back to school. I know that can be an adjustment for a lot of people, especially if you have a job and you have a family and you're kind of used to things being a certain way. I know that going back to school can be challenging. So I think staying open-minded is the biggest thing. I think going in and just saying, you know what, I'm here to learn, and I don't have any, even if you've taken cosmetology in high school, this can all be very different from the way that we teach to the verbiage that's used. So I think coming in without the idea that you're going to be perfect, and just kind of open-minded to what you're going to learn, is a huge setup for success. If you can do that. We see a big difference in attitude when we have people that kind of come in thinking that they know everything already, versus those that are like, hey, I'm here to learn and I'm excited for everything that we're learning. My second piece of advice, of a tip that I wanted to give everybody that is starting beauty school, is that to prepare for this to be a full-time job. So different than traditional college, where, you might go to school on, have class on Tuesday, Wednesday, from 9 to 1, or whatever your schedule is. This is very much full-time. Even if you're in a part-time program, it is a huge thing to add into your life. And I think just setting yourself up for success, to plan for that time that you're going to be in school, is really important. I think that when students come in and they've got, jobs on top of this, or maybe life just isn't super easy outside of school right now, we always tell students to do this program, to jump into a licensing program or go into cosmetology school when it works for you. If life starts hitting you and you're like, hey, adding this is going to be really hard and really complicated, and I just don't know if I'm ready for that, we always say to just wait. We start classes every single month. I know that that's not maybe what every school does, but we've had students that are like, hey, I'm supposed to start, but my car is getting fixed and I'm going to have to find a ride or whatever. And we recommend, we just say, just wait until it works for you, because we've seen so many people that try to insert this into their lives, and then life becomes really hard because you've added something major into that. So I think just making sure that your schedule is set up and that you have the help that you need. If you are a mom, that you've got the childcare worked out, and all of those things, just to help prepare you. Our program is Tuesday through Friday from 8:30 to 4:30. So during that time, you're starting early, you have your study class, but then you're working like all day long. And in our salon, you might get 2 to 3 clients a day. So when you have those jobs where, you're leaving here and you're going to work, it can be an exhausting day. All of that as well, to say that like not everyone in your life is going to understand when you tell people that you're going to beauty school. A lot of times people are going to think that it's easy, so they're like, what are you complaining about? Like, you just played with hair and makeup all day. And what they don't know is that you've shown up to be a stylist for somebody, which means you have listened to somebody all day long, just like you will in your career. So I think having that understanding of like, I'm going to be exhausted and this is something that I'm going to have to push through, is really helpful as well. I always suggest having a person in your life that you can identify as your person that you can go to through this time. So someone that you're able to kind of complain to and say, hey, this thing I'm doing is really hard, but I need you to encourage me. And that can be somebody outside of school. I think if you find that in school, it's even better. You'll have what we call your beauty school besties, and you'll have your people that you're going through this experience with. But I definitely think that it is I think it's so helpful when you have somebody that is just going to help support you through this. Now, if you don't have that, I think it's really important that you make sure that you're going to a school that will have somebody in that building. We always say that, there are so many different types of people, from our instructors to our admin staff, or me, or Steven, coming to one of us. And I have so many students that will come in and just go over life things with me, and sometimes just need an ear, and they need to just talk to somebody to get some things out. And we definitely provide that for you. So I think going to a school that has that as well and is going to be open to you, coming in and just being that support for you is really important. From seeing all the TikToks of people asking or like saying it's the worst experience, I think that obviously on social media, you have to remember that the negative is kind of what gets the most views, right? So being negative, as we all know, does get you more views. The more dramatic, the more crazy, like obviously, there's people that are doing that for whatever reason. I think talking to people that have gone to the school that you're going to is the best thing that you can do. I think getting references, calling salons in your area and saying, hey, I'm thinking about going to beauty school. Where do you recommend that I go? I think that's super helpful. Salons want to help encourage people in this industry. And I think, one of the things we hear sometimes too is, oh, my aunt did this and she said, don't go into this industry or whatever. I think it's really important to take advice from people that you look up to, that you want to be like. If there is someone that is in your area, that's in your town, or even the person maybe that does your hair or is your esthetician, talk to them about where they went to school, because I think that they're going to be open and honest with you. Now, when there's complaints like, oh, there's, so much drama, after working in a school for 13 years, can honestly tell you that there are people that feed off of that. And so you'll have the cliques of people that are all into the drama and they want to talk about people and all of that stuff. But I also think that it's super easy to remove yourself from that. So, I can definitely tell you graduates and I'm like, oh yeah, they would probably say that there was, drama at the school. And then people that I'm like, I know never once were involved in anything. And so they wouldn't say that. They would say, hey, I had a beauty school bestie, and that's the person I really relied on. And then, everybody else, I kind of just did my own thing. And I think that that is the absolute best thing that you can do. I think making sure that you're taking every opportunity with somebody that is doing this with you. So a positive influence at the school is everything. I might not be somebody that you find on your first day of school, but I think just making sure that you find somebody that is positive and is going to encourage you through the time is key. We do a lot of charity work, so a lot of things to give back to the community. And I think if you can find somebody that will be able to do those things with you, that's helpful. We have a group of students here right now that there was like 4 of them in this group, and they did every extra thing together. They were in all their classes together. They started in the same month. They all graduated at different times just because of the way that hours work. But hearing them all speak at each other's graduations was just my favorite thing. And you just see the way that like it matters to have somebody there that understands you and understands what you're going through, because they all supported each other so much to get them through this time. So I really think just having one person is so helpful. And then I think just making it fun. I'm a big believer in just trying to make the best out of whatever situation that you're in. So I think that if, you're in beauty school and you're getting stressed out, or maybe it's harder than you thought, just make sure that you have somebody that you can make it fun with. Give yourself little treats when you make it to school, 5 days in a row, stop and get Starbucks on Friday when you've made it on time, every day. And I think some of that can seem like, like that's a baby thing to do. But I think that, that little like spark or that little goal that you set, even weekly, will really help you get through it. I think that the reality is that in the beginning, the first few months of beauty school, it's so exciting because you're learning something new. You're with new people. You're finally like seeing, hey, I am going to get to follow this career path that I've always wanted. And then you hit that messy middle where, you're in it. you've gone through your freshman sophomore class, you're used to taking clients, you've been doing this for a minute to the point of where like you're tired, because you're going to be tired. It's not easy by any means. So I think you're in that messy middle, and then you get to the point where you're at 1,000 hours, and then it's just so fast from there because you're doing your finals, you're getting ready for graduation. You can really see that light at the end of the tunnel. So I think making sure also that during that time, even when you're not, super excited anymore, like doing things to add on. So doing add-in classes at that 750-hour mark, I think is really important because it does help get you excited again about the more advanced techniques you're going to learn. So if you're somebody that really jumps into hair cutting and you're like, oh my gosh, hair cutting is my thing, I love this, sign up for classes. A lot of the education that's offered, at least in our area, and hopefully it is in yours as well, I know Salon Centrics and different places will open up the classes to beauty school students. So I know it's probably intimidating for you to go in with salon professionals, but I also think that's a great way to network. If you say, hey, I'm actually, I'm doing this class, but I'm in beauty school, I know that those stylists are going to welcome you with open arms, and they're honestly going to be even nicer to you because you're a student, and they want to encourage young stylists. So I think if you can go do those things or put yourself out there to get in a salon. Now, I know our school is different in the way that we interact with salons so early, but I also am a big believer in you all getting started in your career. So making sure that when you have guest speakers at your school, you go introduce yourself, you go let them know who you are. And I know salon owners love that, and they want to see what the next generation is going to look like, and they want to see somebody that has some ambition. So I know that they appreciate when our students do that. So I definitely recommend taking every opportunity of networking that you can. I think just understanding that, like, as a beauty school student, you have more support than you might think. And maybe that's an online community, or maybe that is, within your family. But I just think wherever you can find that positive support will make all the difference for you. So hopefully those tips help. I hope that I'm seeing way more positive reviews of beauty schools. And I think that the more that we can share the positive of this industry, just the even better that this industry is going to be. So thank you all so much for listening to this alone episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure that if you are listening on podcasts, that you go to whatever podcast app you're listening in. Make sure you leave a comment, leave a review. That super, super helps us. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Following really helps us as well. So I hope you all have the best day, and share this with somebody that is either thinking about going to beauty school or is currently enrolled. Thank you guys. Bye.